money for that disrespect. Secondly, we'll see what you got. We'll see what you got in your 30s, Adish. We'll see what you're rocking. See what kind of hats you're putting on. Go to Turkey. Where'd Elon Musk go? No one's had a better hair transplant than Elon Musk, bro. He was looking terrible. I mean, what a change. Look at this. How much could this possibly... Is this like a billionaire thing? What did this cost? I'll pay it. I don't have this. I got a way better foundation than Elon Musk here. Like, I'll have a fuck. I'll have... Just lucky. What did Ludwig pay for his hair transplant? You guys don't know Ludwig pretends he has to shave his head bald for content, and then coincidentally takes a trip right as it starts. Just interesting. Just interesting. You saw a little scarring when he was coming back. A couple hats, yeah. Lovely day, lovely day. Pay me, I can draw pretty well. Maybe you can put it over your head and look fine. I'm sorry, are you saying that I should pay you to draw hair on my head? Is that what you're... I should give you money so that you can draw it. What about if I shower? Won't that wash off your drawing? Permanent marker? Permanent marker. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I'm a little worried. I don't think it's going to work. Chat seems really confident, but I'm getting a sinking feeling that it won't work. Atrioc, please do this. And you sent me a clip. Kid can't handle lacula? This doesn't seem up my alley.
Hair.
Wait, what is this? What is this?
I have it now. Bet you never thought you'd see this coming, huh?
Is it drawn on? What is this? Why is it so tilted? What? It's sprayed on? I respect it. That's that's great. Yeah, it's sharp. It's a sharp hairline, and it looks sharp, and I respect it. That looks real. It's majestic, yeah. It's majestic is what it is. Jeff from Community did insane shit. Jeff from Community got transplants? Wait a minute. You're going to tell me that people in Hollywood are doing things to get better appearances for their career? Chris Evans uses wigs? I thought it was natural. I thought it was natty. This is fucked up. That was fucked up, dude. This is throwing everything I knew out of whack. Squeaks can be saved after all. Oh, there's only so much science can do, Quack. Let's not ask for miracles. Let's ask for realities, okay? There's things that science can do, and there's things that you'd need a wizard. LeBron got a weave. LeBron can do whatever the hell fucking whatever the fuck he wants, okay? LeBron can do whatever he wants with his hair. He's the GOAT. When will you wear wigs? Listen, I don't know what my long-term solution would be if my hairline got significantly worse, but I know that it wouldn't be a wig. I promise you. Can you imagine I just show up with a full-on... Wait, just... about this? Oh, it's... Dude, you know what the worst crime in all of humanity is? That's right. It's whenever there's an image that they say is a PNG on Google Images, but they faked the checkerboard dots behind it. So you try to get it and you get the PNG, but you're not actually getting the PNG. I think Hitler invented this one. This fucking devious scheme. Wouldn't put it past him. He's a tricky, tricky man. Who the fuck even does that? Who does it, or what do you mean? Who encounters it? Everyone. They all do it on this fucking internet. Search for anything PNG. They're going to give you a fake PNG. I don't know why they do it. Evil, I guess. Because it's not like I'm going to... It's like I've never seen the fake PNG and be like, well, I better go to their fucking stock photo website and buy their image. No, I don't fucking buy it. I just don't. I just move on to the next click thing. God damn it, they're all not real. All right, well, this bit is dead. I was gonna fucking put a wig on myself, but I can't do it now. How fair is that? What happened to honesty in this great nation? Website remove.bg removes backgrounds. Crypto mining website. Trying to take all my fucking money. I get it. I get your fucking plans. I missed 9 minutes. I'm so sorry. Should we forgive him, chat? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking no. It's like you're there at the start or not at all. Like you missed important context. How are you going to be able to banter effectively? You don't even know the setup. We're talking about wigs. We're talking about hair. We're going to talk about Trump buying 10% of Intel. It's all weaved together. And now you can make a joke like weave, like LeBron's hair, and that would be a callback. But you can't do that because you don't know the callback. Do you understand? Do you understand the problem? Oh, guess what? Guess fucking what? I finally get to have the true air conditioning that I want for this stream. Because Ari's gone for a week. She's going to Dragon Con in Atlanta. So I'm going to set it to a much colder temperature. Oh, yeah. It's about to get fucking frosty in here. It's about to get crazy. Hey, Atrioc, I work at an AI startup, and this week we were told that we are not renewing any contractors for the entire company as a way to deal with missing the goal for back-to-back quarters. This move essentially cut the entire company's workforce in half and shook the morale for multiple teams. Sounds like it's all gonna work out for AI startups. It sounds like the future is up and to the right. I don't understand how a company that's not hitting its goals can cut its workforce in half and not renew any of its contractors and then think, well, now we're going to hit our goals. Unless they're like, yeah, I just don't. I feel like you're going to make even less. I feel like you have to be much more efficient, I guess, but. Yeah, they might be able to get acquired. Did you see the Overwatch Luka Doncic collab? I fucking did. First thing that made me want to play Overwatch since the game's release. Cowboys never die. Wait, is there like a trailer? I'm not going to play. Don't worry. My love for Luca is outweighed severely by my hatred for Overwatch. But is there like a? They don't even have a trailer. Why would you not, dude? Overwatch is so fucking washed. They got a Luca collab and they didn't make a fucking 15-second trailer. What an L for the marketing team. They fired all their contractors? Yeah, I guess so. Can I at least get something to show the chat? Goddamn. Here. There's an image. They don't have anything more than an image, but they do have an image. It's... What's the name of the guy now? It's not McCree anymore. This is who I used to play. It's Cole Cassidy. Cole Cassidy and Luca. Overwatch 2 Stadium. Cowboys never die. My other favorite stadium is in Overwatch 2. And they got this European dressed up as a cowboy, bro. It's like Linkus out in Texas. When did he lose so much weight? Oh, you noticed. Oh, you noticed. He's no longer fat Luca. That's right. He's thin, strong Luca. Trust the plan. Trust the process. Kind of, I wonder how long they've been planning that, because it'd be very funny if they've been planning that when he was in Dallas. And now he's in LA and it makes less sense for him to be like cowboy crossover in it, but just wait for him to get back in America. Not everyone's, but people are saying this. All the haters are saying this. They're saying, yeah, Luca's thin now because he's in Europe. But the second he steps 1 foot back on American soil, he's going to mainline a funnel of cheeseburgers into his mouth and get fat again. That's what they're saying. I don't think that's going to happen, but that is what I'm being told. First time chatter. Yeah, this guy's definitely on the spectrum. I'm leaving. Okay. Goodbye. That's crazy. That is a crazy first chat message. I don't think that's even remotely true, but even if it were true, like even if I were, do you know what I'm saying? What a crazy, like I can't, like imagine if I joined the chat of someone who was on the spectrum and that was the first thing I said. I would feel bad. That's not something I would write. So I'm surprised that this guy, I'm on Spectrum Internet. That's what he's saying. If that's what he's saying, I am on Spectrum Internet. And that is a reason to hate somebody. I am supporting a vile, vile corporation with my dollars. God, I hate Spectrum. I was... How do I put this? I was... There's probably no good way to put this. I'm trying to tie in 9/11. I'm trying to tie in 9/11 to my hatred of Spectrum, but I really don't think there's a way to do it. So I'm gonna respectfully pass. I'm gonna give it some more time in the oven. Wrong towers. Yeah, something. There's something. It needs some workshopping. But I think we'll never forget what Spectrum's done to me. Old Atrioc would have said it. I don't think so. I don't think Old Atrioc would have came up with it. What do you think of... No, don't ask me a fucking CD's question. CD's nuts, bro. CD's nuts, Vim Strike. Seriously, that's my answer. CD's nuts is my answer to your question. Don't hit me with one of these too early in the stream, bro. Come on now. We got to talk about it. We got a lot of things to talk about. I don't want to give you fucking... Dude, people in my real... I shouldn't say this because people are going to know who I'm talking about. I feel so constrained. I can't make a 9/11 joke about Spectrum. I can't talk about people in my real life who are asking me for financial advice because of my Big A clips. People in my real life are messaging me more frequently now, asking for like a consult, like a 1 hour consult on their portfolios and stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do that. So you did see my DM. Quack, here's my consult. Make more videos. That's my consult. You want to get your money up? Make more videos. Oh, but where's the fucking thumbnail, Atrioc? Fine. We're at an impasse. Okay? We're at an impasse, Quack. Fine. We'll call it even. All right? You should do the consult if they agree to let you stream it. That's worse. Let me take my friendship, monetize it for content, get them mad at me if it doesn't go right, and the chat. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Caleb Hammer. I'm going to pivot into Caleb Hammer type content, but only with my personal friends. Instead of random people I don't know and can make fun of, I'll pick my personal friends and then really roast them. This is a W idea. That's big money. Cass Hanover, thank you for the gifted. Thank you for the gifted, Cass Hanover. Do you have a message? Far be it from me to refuse the message of a 5 gifted sub. You said, thank God Big A is live. I just finished watching Donnie Darko and it was an amazing film. But as someone who struggles with worsening hallucinations, it was pretty rough. Quite a tale. I mean, I'll stop and just say I agree. Donnie Darko is a good film. I liked it. I do like Donnie Darko. I hope you didn't hallucinate your way to clicking that 5 gifted button. What are your thoughts on work and life separation, especially when you are gaining so much visibility online? Is it more drastic in this unknown economy we're currently living in? No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't have a work-life separation because I'm a streamer. Well, I'll tell you, it was much harder when I worked at NVIDIA and my content was getting bigger. By the end of the time when I left NVIDIA in late 22, I was getting pinged in like big company group Slack channels about content from the previous night. Evan Gao obviously was showing up at the doorstep of the office and doing backflips in a maid outfit. New interns were joining the company and then getting access to my email and then sending me emails and saying, hey, Big Gliz, I only started working at NVIDIA because I saw your videos. I'm so excited to be here. Want to hang out at lunch or something? Like, I was getting all sorts of crazy shit. By the end of it, I was getting all sorts of crazy shit. There was one time, this is real. This is 100% real. 100% real. It was not more normal. No, they called me Big Gliz in a work email. Like, I'm not going to say their name, but person at NVIDIA.com emailing Brandon at, and they're like, hey, what up, Big Gliz? It's crazy. But I remember specifically because there's a friend of mine that still works at NVIDIA and I really like. Great guy. He comes into chat sometimes. He's a viewer. He watches the content and we still talk and are friends. But he, in like a few months before I left NVIDIA, I got a Hitman world record. And he went into like the @all marketing at NVIDIA Slack channel or whatever. It was like everybody that works in marketing, the whole company. And he was like, hey, let's all give a big congratulations. And he like posted the clip of me like saying speedrunner bitch or whatever. And I messaged him privately. And I was like, bro, please delete this right away. God Like, I know you think you're doing something nice. I know you think this is like a cool thing. It is not. I really want to keep this shit separately. And so he deleted it. I mean, it was really quickly. I was on it so fast. I was on it so fast that I don't think it didn't like get very far, but I was mad. Not really at him, just like it was happening more and more. So it was kind of a good time to separate because it was becoming problematic. Maybe swear less then. It wasn't really about the swearing. It was more just about the getting the hitman role. I don't want people, you know. I was joking. Yeah. Did that make you leave earlier than you intended? No. If anything, I left later than I intended. To be honest, I left NVIDIA. I was gonna leave probably beginning of 22 for off-brand. Fucking money fucking fire pit. But I kept getting so much let me tell you the honest truth. I'm gonna tell you the honest fucking truth. This might not be true anymore because everything's changing in Silicon Valley. But here's the honest truth. If you worked in Silicon Valley at a tech company, you would often be on LinkedIn or social media or Instagram or Facebook, and you'd see a coworker being like, finally ended my time at, Amazon or Apple or Google or Meta or whatever. I really enjoyed the challenges there, but it's time to work on something even more exciting or my next big thing. And it would go on. And you would, if you did any simple math, you would notice that when they made that post is exactly 2 years or 4 years after they started at the company. It's always like on a vesting date. It was like right after their stock vested. They would get their big cash payout from the stock, or their stock payout, and then they would be free to go somewhere else. And I'll just be honest with you. Whatever I tell you, I think there's a lot of reasons. I thought about it a long time. One of the biggest ones in my mind is that Ari and me, but especially Ari, hated San Jose. I can live anywhere because I'm kind of a fucking gamer. I can sit inside and game and Uber Eats or whatever. But like San Jose is a shit place to live. There's not a lot going on. It's a very boring city. There's nothing. So we did San Jose to make money at NVIDIA, but it wasn't like a place I could live or start a family or whatever. So that was one of the big reasons. But I'll also tell you that I left, 4 years? I actually worked longer than 4 years, but so I started NVIDIA and then I think 7 months in, I get the Jensen bonus because I did something pretty sick around. I did the green out. I'm not gonna go into it, but I did the green out. So I got the Jensen bonus, which is like a special CEO signed stock bonus that vests over 4 years. And then exactly 4 years after that, I left. Okay. Just being 100% real, no cap on a stack. It lined up. So, what does it mean when it vests? So let's say they give you, I don't know. Let's say it's 2018 and they're like, all right, we're going to give you 250K in stock. And that would be at 2018 prices, by the way. Then you get 1/4 of it a year. So 2019, you get a fourth. 2020, you get a fourth. And by 2022, your final thing is vested and you got all four. Do you understand that? That's vests is whenever Jensen gives you a vest to wear. The idea is to incentivize you, to stay at the company. Because here's the alternative, right? They could be like, here's a signing bonus of this much money. And then you quit in 3 months. And it's like, peace, deuces, you know? That's the idea. The idea is that you need to stay and like put in some work and like get some, that's the idea. If that makes sense. Chicken sandwiches, thank you for the 10 gifted. You have a message? Chicken sandwiches. Hey, Atrioc, I'm the chef that DM'd you about cooking for you. We never got back to me. I assume you forgot about it. Oh, I did forget about that. Okay, let me check on it. However, I've been trying to... Well, honestly, I just got pre-made meals that I've been using. I'll follow up. I've been pretty satisfied with pre-mades right now. It's been saving money, but I'm interested. We'll talk. I got to figure out price. But thank you. Jay Both lived for the 36 months. Can you go into detail about what you did to earn the Jensen bonus? Yeah, I was walking with Jensen and I said, you know what? Fuck this low limit gamer shit. What if we got into AI? What if we like were the foundational chip for the AI revolution? And he's like, what? And I'm like, write that shit down. It's going to matter. And he's like, all right, if that pays off, you're getting paid big. And then we both smoked a fat one. He did not say clutch move big glizz. What if you start wearing leather jackets like Big J? He did wear them. I'll tell you, that wasn't for show. You'd walk around the office in tennis shoes and leather jackets 24/7. Like he owned the place. Which he did. No pants. Yeah, he's like Winnie the Pooh. Shoes, jacket, no pants. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Grumpy Monk, thank you for the 14 months. Ashen Fortune, thank you for the prime. All right, guys. Because of Adish, not because of myself, but for Adish's sake, I need to talk about Intel. Because I asked him to... We had a clip about Intel going up today, but I didn't like it. I didn't give enough information. So I'm asking him to make a clip out of what I'm recording right now. This is a live clip that we'll be uploading tonight. Okay? And so I'm going to talk about it. YouTube, more like cringe tube. That's not very nice. You say hi, YouTube. There's a friendship brewing between the YouTube frogs and the Twitch chatters. And it takes place entirely asynchronously. Okay? They say hi. They say hi back. It's a fucking... Brutes, they were the 55 months. Hi, YouTube. It's me, the sub who's never thanked. I just thanked you. Before I even read your message, by the way. Before I even read your message, I thanked you. What is with the farther my subs go, the more months they have, the more they become this martyrdom of how they've never been thanked. But they have been thanked. It isn't, like, by the time you get to 20 months, they're like, it's not true. It's not true. They have been thanked. I do thank and support and appreciate my subs, honestly. 40 months and I haven't been thanked yet. Lobby Liam, I know I've thanked you. I know for a fact. I know that I've thanked you. So you can't say this because I know that I have. Show us the clip if so. Do you think that's a bit of an unfair method of evidence? I have to have memorized when I thanked every chatter and clipped it and have it ready at recall so I can pull up on a dime to show you. No, that's not. I'm just telling you that I thank, and I'm also, this is a broad thank you. I'm doing a universal thank you to the subs right now. Lick C, thank you for the 10 months. Blaley, thank you for the 23. Would you thank for 23 months? You know that's LeBron's number? Yeah, I do. And Jordan. Dill Pickle Cubes, thank you for the 16 months. Thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate it. OS Crew, thank you for the 36. 3 years and no thanks. Okay, wait, you have been thanked, but thank you again. I'm sounding like I'm you know what I sound like is fucking Zelensky in the White House. Thank you. You guys sound like fucking JD Vance. Okay? Have you even said thank you once? I say thank you. I do. I appreciate it. Okay? Still no suit? I'm at war. You can't expect me to wear a suit when I'm at war. Okay? Danger Diener, thank you for the 30 months. Danger Diener, I've definitely thanked you before, but thank you very much. You have thanked Lavi Liam. I found proof you're vindicated. There's no way this is it. It's so fucking true. Congratulations in advance. Lavi Liam, thank you for the 20 months. Wait, who found this? How did you find this? Wait, what the hell? This is from a year ago. Fucking true. Congratulations in advance. Lavi Liam, thank you for the 20 months. That's the greatest message of all time. Yes! Oh, you just made my year. Oh, just knowing it in my heart and soul and bones, and someone finds evidence, you just made my year. Lavi Liam, what do you have to say for yourself? Never been thanked, you said? And yet the evidence, it's not even the same shirt, by the way. It's a different flannel. Lavi Liam. Wow. What do you have this caught? He's just spamming caught. He's spamming Omega Dance, but fast and caught. That's that's so funny. That's so funny. Yeah, clip this right now, too, for whenever in the next 10 months he comes back and goes, you never thanked me. Now we'll have 2 evidences. Wow, that's incredible. I've never seen such swift justice. How did you find that? How did you know? I'll never fully understand that. Hey, Atrioc, longtime YouTube frog, new Twitch frog. Just want to say, I let you know I love the content and you've helped me through some really tough times. Thanks so much. Paid chatter, I'm sorry. Paid chatter. What the? You can't possibly. I'm kidding. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a very kind thing to say. Trains. Because you're a YouTube frog, you don't understand the culture here. On YouTube, they like the content and they're nice. Here, everyone is miserable and they're calling me bald and glizzy 24/7. All right. Somehow they can watch any other stream. They click in here, but then they act like I'm forcing them to be here. I'm not doing that. It's tradition. It's tradition. It's tradition. It's tradition. But thank you for the nice message. I do appreciate that. Believers rise, believers. You are Zelensky, Dan Clancy is Putin, and Mizkif is Trump. Geopolitics via Twitch streamers. Is this even close to true? No. Actually, the only thing throwing me off is Mizkif as Trump. I'm not sure about that, but I do know that if anything, and I hate to say this, Putin is a bad guy, don't get me wrong, but is he a Dan Clancy? That's my question. Like, I'll say this. I don't know specifically both of their policies and how they differ, but I will say that Dan Clancy has had more people thrown from windows than Putin. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like that's not even disputable. More people have been thrown from windows by Dan Clancy. Now Dan Clancy might be a better guy. And, you know, Clancyville's economic numbers are much harder to verify compared to Russia. But what about Putin's KGB days, though? What about Clancy's? You think Clancy wasn't in the KGB? The CIA, Mossad? He's been around, dude. Clancy knows. There's not a single agency that Dan Clancy hasn't infiltrated at the highest level. The IMF, the KGB, the MVD, the DMV. The DMV used to be fast, and then Clancy said, what if we made it way slower and more annoying? That's what's Dan Clancy's idea. He literally chose that, dude. Just keep this all in the intel clip. The NBA, yeah. Yeah, he's in the NBA too. Not as the DVD. Dan Clancy was the one that got rid of bonus features on DVDs. Okay? He said, what if we made a future where all you got was the video and it was on a streaming service and you subscribed to it instead of actually owning your content? And he made it so the DVD logo never hits the corner. Yeah, exactly. Do you guys know if you bought the movie Memento on DVD, you could like move through the menu in like a code way and it would unlock a version of the film that played in chronological order? We used to have a real country. It was so sick. It was so fucking sick. And there was bonus features and there was fucking cool shit. There was whimsy, dude. What's a DVD? It's like, you know how you watch Cocomelon every fucking second of your waking life? Except when you're plugged into Roblox. It was like that, but better. All right, if that makes sense to you. Does that explain it to you? Selecting which chapter to start in a movie felt like the future. It sort of is because it doesn't exist anymore. The movies don't have chapters anymore. You can't like pick a part to go to. You have to just fast forward, which I guess is fine. I mean, honestly, chapters was not that useful. I should say that I'm not, I shouldn't be so greedy for a time past because right now, as we speak, with the fucking piracy system that Ari set up, I can watch any movie or show on any platform ever for free with 3 clicks. Which is like, allegedly. So I really shouldn't be like I actually have the ultimate media fucking environment of all time. I've never had a better. Yesterday I was like, hey, I want to watch the episode of Game of Thrones where Joffrey dies. Spoiler! It's been 10 years, but spoiler! I just wanted to watch it. And so I found it, clicked it in 2 seconds. Boom, boom. Bruh, I was on that episode this second. How would you know you're on that episode if it hasn't happened yet? How would you know you're on the episode where it happens if you didn't know about what I'm saying? It hasn't happened yet. Caught. A lot of caught today. A lot of caught. I almost feel like, this is going to sound crazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it almost feels like you guys collectively lie for the benefit of your jokes. That whatever you say isn't what you actually believe or mean. It's just to have some sort of attack vector towards the streamer. You think I'm crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just fucking crazy. Maybe I'm loco. Okay. Fuck it. We got to talk about Intel. All right. We got to talk about Intel. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, fuck, give me a little intro song. Just a little half one. About this, I think it's important and could possibly lead to something even more important in the future. So, maybe you've heard the news. Oh, hold. Okay. Maybe you've heard the news, but the United States government, through Trump's deft negotiating hand, has taken 10% ownership of Intel, the largest American chip foundry. So, again, historically, this is pretty rare. This has only happened previously in times of emergency, like the 2008 financial crisis, where America got percentage stakes in some of the major banks they were bailing out, then eventually would sell those stakes. But this is kind of an uncapped, no emergency situation. We're just taking a large ownership stake with the government in a private company. And I want to talk about what that means. I want to talk about why it happened. I want to talk about where it's going forward, okay? So, first, we got to talk about chips. These kind of chips, not the kind that you eat. Although maybe you could eat these. People are eating Nintendo Switch cartridges. Chips, okay? Very, very important. Now, this is kind of a base primer. You might already know this, but it's worth saying, okay? Some people, like Jensen Huang and NVIDIA here, design the chips, and some people, some companies, make the chips. This is like TSMC in Taiwan. They have these big, gigantic foundry clean rooms where they actually make the chips, okay? So designing and making, producing are different things. Understand. You might design it here in America, but then it would be made in Taiwan. Now, let's stretch this out a bit and notice who's on the design side. So the biggest chip designers in the world are like NVIDIA, AMD, Apple, Qualcomm, okay? Now, all of these companies are American. Pretty cool. Good for America. We have a lot of world-class chip designers. But who actually makes the chips? Well, pretty much all these companies use TSMC, actually. If I'm using specific examples, pretty much all these companies use TSMC. TSMC has a massive market share, so it's all made in Taiwan. But behind TSMC, you might find companies like Samsung in Korea or SMIC in China, okay? And then way down the list, not able to make the latest and greatest chips, not even able to make very good chips, to be quite honest. Really bringing up the caboose, the rear, is Intel, okay? That is our American version of a chip foundry. This is not ranked top 4. Intel is even farther down. But Intel is the biggest American chip foundry that can actually produce chips. Okay? And they've had a very rough past few, honestly, decades. Since their peak and their prime, they've been on a slow but steady downward spiral. They've lost engineering leadership. They no longer can design the latest and greatest. They have process errors. They're late to new technologies. And they've slowly but surely been losing market share, losing customers, getting worse. And they've fallen behind, the world leaders in being able to create the great chips. Okay? This is a problem because being able to make the chips is probably, in the world we're heading towards, even more important than being able to design them. Okay? The ownership of the production of the chips is very, very important. The strategic, like, for example, if TSMC were cut off to the rest of the world, it would cripple all of these companies. It's very important for national security reasons to have some ability to create your own chips within at least your sphere of influence. Okay? So both presidents of the recent, last 10 years, Trump and Biden, have known this. It's not a one-sided Republican or Democrat thing. Both political parties in America have recognized this. This is Joe Biden stunned. He's seeing the face of God as he looks upon these Intel chips by their old CEO. Okay? He's blown away. Sleepy Joe, maybe he's just falling asleep. Sleepy Joe, in addition to Trump, both have said this is important for national security reasons. And during Biden's administration, they had a thing called the CHIPS Act. And the CHIPS Act was designed to use government money as grants to get chip companies to build in America, pretty much all in Arizona. So the idea was we give you grant money, you create American jobs, you build in America. They gave grant money to TSMC to go build in America. They gave grant money to Intel to try and catch up in America. The idea was like, we're going to give money to all these different areas and just try to get some chip building in America. That's the idea of the CHIPS Act. Okay? And they said basically what I've said here. We rely on a very small number of factories in Asia for almost all of our sophisticated chips. It's untenable and unacceptable. It's an economic security problem. It's a national security problem. And we're going to change that. Okay, that was the plan. And there was some success. This is a TSMC plant in Arizona that I believe just went operational this year, or maybe it's just about to go operational this year. However, don't get me wrong, there's still problems. Okay? They were able to use the money to convince them to build here. The problem that TSMC says is that Arizonans don't like to work as hard as people back in Taiwan. Just simplify. They've had a lot of logistical challenges, but the main part is that Arizonans don't like to be on call 24 hours to, for this insanely detailed process and have to show up. So it's a little more complicated than that, but again, that is the core of it, is they can't find the talent they can from Taiwan as they can in Arizona. But it is still moving forward. They're still building. They're still planning to be production facility for Apple's chips, not their latest and greatest, but some of Apple's mobile chips are going to be built in Arizona at TSMC Lab. So there's things happening. Now, while this was happening, while this CHIPS Act was happening, Trump was very against it. Trump said overall the CHIPS Act should be killed. All the money should be used to pay down debt. He said the United States government shouldn't be involved in any of this. Just take the money, pay down debt. Okay? Now listen, it's a complicated situation. You could make the argument that the CHIPS Act was possibly ineffective, or the money could be used elsewhere, and maybe paying down the debt's a decent idea. Let's see if he sticks to that idea of paying down the debt once he gets into the office. Because, as we know, we are now in the Trump era, and Trump was right about everything. Okay? So, here we are, 2025, first year of Trump 2. This is the new Intel CEO. I'm sure I got his name. Lip-Bu Tam. Am I correct on that? I want to make sure I got it right. Lip-Bu Tam. Lip-Bu Tan. Tan. Lip-Bu Tan. This is the new Intel CEO. Now, I will say, people say this guy's going to be better. He's got an engineering background. He might be a better CEO than the last one. However, I've heard this before, because the last Intel CEO was all... They've gone through like 4 CEOs in 5 years or something. The last guy was also from an engineering background. They said the same thing. He's going to turn it around. He's the new engineer that's going to come in and fix Intel. Intel's in a really bad spot. There's a deeper rot at this company than just swapping out a new CEO. But this is the new Intel CEO. And he comes in this year, and he's going to turn Intel around. But Trump, this month, August, has some things to say about him. Trump says this guy is highly conflicted and should resign over his ties to China. I think that Trump is saying that because he looks Asian. Because he's not from China. He's not from China. He's invested in some Chinese companies, don't get me wrong, but he's not from China. He's Malaysian. But anyway, Trump says this, and then notably says, the CEO of Intel is highly conflicted and must resign immediately. There is no other solution to this problem. Now, this is a very important statement because this is this month. This month, Trump has said there is no other solution to the Intel CEO being conflicted than him resigning. That's it. We've figured it out. There's only one solution. Now, this caused a bit of a chaos at Intel. Intel's leadership was in a panic. The president of the United States is saying we have to have our CEO step down and that we're infiltrated by the Chinese. So they said, okay, they talked to some experts, some Trump experts, and they decided they've learned the following. Trump loves meeting with CEOs, even those who he's attacked publicly. Trump just likes deal making. He likes being a mover and shaker. He likes being personally involved. People come in, they talk to him. He can get something out of them. He likes this, okay? So they decide they're going to fly out this CEO to go meet with Trump to convince him that he's not a Chinese spy and the U.S. government has a long-term interest in bolstering intel. Surprise, surprise, it works. Days before, there's no other solution than him resigning. After one meeting, now he's like this. He came in, this is Trump quote. He came in, he saw me, we talked for a while. I liked him a lot. I thought he was very good. I said, you know what? I think the United States should be given 10% of intel. And he said, I would consider that. So a massive pivot. From a few days ago, you're like, he's got to get out. And so now you meet him once. Oh, you know what? I love intel and you, and I want 10%. Okay. So I did skip one part in the middle, and I hope I have it in here. If not, I'll just draw it. Okay. So between this meeting, I'm sorry, I did skip one. Between this calling him to resign and this meeting, there was one middle part where Trump said, hey, what if we got TSMC? What if we got TSMC to buy 49% of Intel? Because TSMC is good and Intel is bad. So we'll just sell 49%. We'll force them actually to buy 49% of Intel and they'll make Intel good. Now, the problem with this, there's a couple problems with this, but one of the main ones is that TSMC has zero interest in doing this. They don't want to do it, and you can't have the American president just tell them who to buy or who to invest in, because they don't want Intel. They're already doing everything they want. Why would they want? So then Trump was threatening to put higher tariffs on Taiwan as a whole unless TSMC, a private company, bought Intel. It was just getting messy. So thankfully, the Intel CEO charmed him in this meeting and went with this 10% plan. So then Trump tweeted this. It's my great honor to report the United States of America now fully owns and controls 10% of Intel. Which is, again, I'll get into it. I'll get into the whole socialism, capitalism, whatever. People have got so many things tied into that. I'll just explain why I think this might be a bad idea, okay? A great American company that has an even more incredible future. I negotiated this deal with Lip Bhutan, the highly respected, by the way, this is weeks after saying he was a Chinese spy that needs to step down. He's actually the highly respected chief executive officer of the company. The United States paid nothing for these shares. Now, I highlighted this part in red, and we're going to skip ahead real quick. This part's highlighted in red because it's called a lie. The United States bought these shares, okay? It is unclear why Trump said the United States did not pay anything for this stake. The government bought 433 million shares at $20.47 each. They spent $9 billion. Taxpayer money. We took the money and we bought it. They certainly didn't give them to us. It's a public company. They can't even run without printing more. So we bought them. I just want that to be clear. You could say that's, the money they used. I do want to, give the full picture here. So there was $9 billion, this amount of money, that was left over from Biden's CHIPS Act. And the reason it was left over is because Biden's CHIPS Act had certain milestones that Intel had to reach to unlock the money. Intel did not reach the milestones, okay? Intel was slow and shitty. So there's money left over, $9 billion in the CHIPS Act that wasn't distributed. So Trump said, I'll use that money because it's basically free. It's kind of girl math. Because you could use it, right, to pay down debt. Like you said. You said kill the law and use the excess funds to pay down debt. You could use leftover money if you wanted to do that. But instead, you're like, now it's already allocated. We'll just use it to buy 10% of Intel. So it's a bit of a bait and switch there. Okay? The shares are now valued at approximately $11 billion. This is a great deal for America and also a great deal for Intel. Building leading-edge semiconductors and chips, which is what Intel does, I wouldn't say leading edge, but yes, they do this, is fundamental to the future of our nation, and I do agree it's important. At the end of the day, The core part of this that you have to concede on is that it's really risky having so much of the economy routed through Taiwan, which is, again, at odds with its closest neighbor, China, at all times. Like, it's just risky. You really do want to diversify chip production outside of Taiwan. It makes sense. All right, I will give that. I don't know about this strategy, but I will give that. Make America great again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, now criticism of this deal came in pretty quickly, and it came in from all over the political spectrum. Republicans, I will say, a lot of them don't say anything. They'll never bring anything up. But many of them who had previously criticized Obama, for example, for taking stakes in banking companies after 2008 and 2009, also criticized, like a Rand Paul might have criticized this. Gavin Newsom said, "All hail Chairman Trump. With his glorious 10% purchase of Intel, the Socialist Republic of America enters a bold new era of government-run businesses." I mean, it just is a departure from normal ways of doing business. And I will say this, someone I do deeply respect had a positive statement on this, and I want to give the upside here. I want to give a fair, nuanced take. I respect Bernie Sanders quite a bit, and he actually, I would say it wasn't like overwhelming support, but he supported this. He favored the Trump plan to take stake in Intel or chip makers. And he said this, if microchip companies make a profit from the generous grants they receive from the federal government, the taxpayers of America have a right to a reasonable return on that investment. Okay. And I just want to explain why I might disagree, even though I vouch for, I fully support Bernie Sanders' character, and I think maybe there's something I'm not seeing here. There's a couple things that go wrong when you have the government owning particular shares in a certain one company. Number one is that if there is ever like a government contract that you would like to be awarded to the best company, the company that can do it for the best price or the most innovative. Well, in historical examples, it'll go to the company that the government owns 10% of. There's a big conflict of interest. It's like picking winners and losers. The government has because Trump has personally negotiated this deal and gotten us 10% of Intel, he can't allow Intel to do worse. He needs to favor them for future government contracts. So that's the first part. But the second part is like with this statement. So actually I deleted the statement. Bring it back. I would say that if Intel, for example, whatever the corporate tax rate is, which should be higher, I agree. If Intel makes $100 million, right, and we tax 15%, okay? If we have a goal, which is like Intel build something in America, bring American jobs, and at the same time, Intel grows to $200 million and we tax 15%, that is the return to the taxpayers of America. The return is the taxes. If you want to make a return on a company, you raise the corporate tax rate so that they're all competing and we get a piece of all of them. You don't pick one and grab 10% of just that one and then say that's how, you know what I'm saying? The taxes is how you get the return. Then you spend it on America. You can spend it on healthcare, you can spend it on whatever. I agree. I think the goals of what you want to spend it on are good. But the idea that you're supposed to seize it, I just find it to be less compelling. However, larger story, again, I won't say Bernie Sanders was a massive supporter of this. He just had one statement. Mainly it's a Trump idea. And Trump said to me, people like me, if you're a critic of this deal, why are stupid people unhappy? And I got owned. I realized I'm stupid. I'm stupid for being critical. Okay? I didn't know I was so stupid. The question is effectiveness. So, and he doesn't only want to stop here. He has found this to be so successful, such a good idea, that he wants more deals like Intel's. Okay? He will make deals like Intel's all day long. And I think Trump truly doesn't even care about the long-term strategy. I think he just likes the deals. He likes CEOs coming in and being at his mercy and him able to boss them around. And I think he just likes doing these deals. They're all one-off, and I think he's just going to start grabbing American stakes in different companies. But the problem is, again, when you have this, you end up with a situation where the only way to win is to go through the president, to go through the government. Okay, you can't win by making the better product. You can't win by offering it at a cheaper price. You can only win by having the government put their thumb on the scale to your benefit. And I think that is a dangerous precedent, a dangerous long-term route to go. It's this real crony situation where you have to go to the mob boss to get your win. So he's planning many more deals, and he hopes to get as much as I can. I want to get the direct quote here. His new economic strategy is an attempt to get as much as I can. Direct quote. I don't see a long-term big strategy here. I'm just confused by it. So all this is to be said is that at the end of the day, there's not a lot of other options than Intel in America. So maybe it's a situation where you got to make do with what we got. Maybe that's the horse we have and we have to ride it. Intel sucks, but we can't get a new competitor in time. So fine, whatever. But I just want to say that this strategy of getting rid of the milestone plan with the grants that the CHIPS Act had and going to just buying 10% is not even guaranteed to work. It's just more good money after bad. The problem is Intel is still a bad company. Trump will likely need to find more ways to support Intel, not wanting it to fail on his watch. And again, that's the quicksand you find yourself in when the government tries to pick a winner. Once you've bought a stake in the company, you can't let it fail because it's embarrassing. So now you have to throw more government money after this money pit, this failing bad company. And you end up in this quagmire of lighting money on fire. Intel needs a lot of help, and the U.S. needs Intel. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But now we're tied to them. And the first immediate reaction of Intel when they had to make a disclosure on this new stake is that it's probably going to hurt our sales. We're already doing bad, and this U.S. government stake is going to hurt our sales. Now, why would that hurt your sales? Well, here's why. Sales outside the U.S. are 76% of Intel's revenue. 30% come from China. China is no longer interested in buying Intel chips if they are 10% owned by the U.S. government. It's too risky. So instead of helping the company, it's likely going to, at least in the short to medium term, severely hurt them. So again, I find this whole concept poor. and I have some other things on Trump I want to talk about this week that I think are more serious. And I'm really I think this week I'm trying to make the case that, guys, this guy might be a bad president. This might sound crazy. He might be a bad president. Because it takes a while for economic stuff to make our lives worse, you can look at this and laugh. And I am laughing. But more of this will lead to a material reduction in American innovation and the amount of money going around in this country. I do agree with that. There's also some more serious stuff we're going to talk about later this week. But this, for now, is what I want to say. I think the U.S. buying 10% stakes in companies or more is a bad idea. And I just want to give the reason why. I think we should tax companies more, but we should force them to compete. And then no matter who wins, we get our cut and we spend it on our citizens. That would be the dream. That would be the ideal. Buying pieces of them and having them be tied directly to the government is a recipe for corruption. A recipe for corruption and a recipe for scandal and a recipe for disaster is what I think. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Let me know on the Clip channel if you disagree. Goodbye. What's the more serious thing? So I'm going to talk about some stuff on the podcast tomorrow, and then whatever I don't, or maybe I'll follow up more on live stream. I'm going to talk about the federalizing of the National Guard that Trump is doing in like 17 states. I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it on Wednesday probably. But I do think it's a pretty big step. And I want to do something more. I might even do an offline recording. I want to do a more serious one. Because when I'm live, I can't help but laugh. I can't help but I don't think it's that funny. I actually think it's kind of horrendous. So I might do an offline one. We'll see. But there's that. And then tomorrow on the podcast, check it out on Wednesday, Lemonade Stands. We're doing a couple things, but our main topic is I got a presentation on the Cracker Barrel woke drama. I got a big deep dive on the Cracker Barrel woke drama, and then we're gonna rank our different worst rebrands of all time. We got a tier list and everything. It'll be good. Wait, what? Did the clip already go up about Intel? Am I crazy? No, it didn't. Okay. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. I was, You're just angry Trump is making art of the deal mogul moves to save this country from not owning 10% of Intel, a national crisis. Cope more liberals. Trump owning 10% of Intel will make Intel even more art of the deal than ever before. It's actually a really good point. And I don't want to pretend like you didn't own me in the marketplace of ideas. I think that is a fair message. And it needed to be said. You always fail to consider that. I do. Intel purchase sets a bad precedent, shows companies they don't need to hit milestones in the future because government will just do this. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, a lot of the CHIPS Act money has been wasted too. I think the milestones plan was better, but I honestly just think money going towards Intel seems to be a lost cause. Seems to be fucking wasted, bro. I mean, maybe we'll get it, but it's like no matter how bad Intel fucks up, everyone's like, oh, poor baby. Here's more taxpayer money. Keep it going. Like they don't have the talent. There's like the good people don't go to work there. I'm not saying everybody, but whatever. I'm just, I think there's got to be a better way. I think the TSMC plan is working. Like they may need some. Like they got to figure out the quibbles with staffing, but they built the plant. It can produce yields of good chips. Like the TSMC in Arizona plant is progress. I think that was something. TSMC is not a monopoly, but they're close. I mean, they have a huge market share, but I wouldn't say they're a monopoly. Many companies, just as an example, at Nvidia, sometimes we would make the chips with Samsung when TSMC was out of space. They can make the low nanometer, just they're not. Old Intel CEO. Oh yeah, wasn't he the one that prayed? Oh, you deleted it. Intel CEO pray. Yeah, I think this is the one. This is the old Intel CEO before this one. Every Thursday, I do a 24-hour prayer and fasting day. This week, I'd invite you to join me in praying and fasting for the 100K Intel employees as they navigate this difficult period. Intel and its team is of seminal importance to the future of the industry in the United States. For all those who are joining me in prayer and fasting for Intel and its 100K employees, their families, and communities, thank you. That's fucking crazy. You're the CEO, bro. You're the CEO of the company when you tweeted this. It's not... You don't need America to pray and stop eating for you to figure it out. You need to make a company that can make good products at a price people want. That's not a good look. Well, he got canned, so yeah. Set up a GoFundMe. That's basically what he did. Intel has basically set up a GoFundMe that the American public is paying to keep them going. It's like we are putting our tax dollars into a GoFundMe to keep Intel's dogshit company alive. What's this? Oh yeah, okay. So we'll talk about this. This is the news for today. Lisa Cook was fired. Fed Governor Lisa Cook, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. Little explanation. You guys know Jerome Powell. We talk about him all the time. Lisa got cooked. Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, but the governors also vote. They all vote to determine interest rate policy. And so it is in Trump's interest to get as many people on the Federal Reserve board, as many governors as he can, who agree with him that we need to cut rates. Okay? That's the idea. And so he's been trying to get people out. Lisa Cook was supposed to have a term that lasted till like 2032. Like she just joined relatively recently. So Lisa Cook was supposed to last till 2032. However, he has accused her with Bill Pulte, this guy. This guy. He accused her of mortgage fraud. I haven't seen the evidence on this, but even if true, I mean, it was like, you know, when you apply for a house on your mortgage application, like not being 100% honest. Like the idea is like you said, I don't know. I don't know what you would lie about, but like, yeah, maybe you bought two houses and listed them both as primary residence or whatever. Something. I'm not sure what happened, but that is what she was being accused of. Mortgage fraud. And because of that, apparently Donald Trump is a big he's deeply concerned with any real estate malfeasance, you know, as he's never been party to that himself. He's like, as much as I want to have a independent central bank, I simply cannot let this stand. We have to fire Lisa Cook immediately. So much like the Jerome Powell palace thing, where it's like just finding any reason, looking for any possible reason to get rid of anyone who would be an independent central banker. And this is like a pretty quick erosion of the few remaining non-presidential controlled, what do you call them? Agencies, I guess, in American government. You know, the Fed's supposed to be independent, but now it's being stacked with people that are not independent as they're going to get rid of Jerome Powell in early 26. Institutions, sure. Now, I don't know if this is going to go through or not. I don't think the Trump can fire a Federal Reserve governor via Truth Social post, which is what he did. But also nothing stopped him in any way so far. So maybe she is gone. I don't know. Here's the True Social post from today, from an hour ago, 2 hours ago. The Federal Reserve Act provides you may be removed at my discretion for cause. I determined there's sufficient cause for you to remove you from position. Okay? There's sufficient reason to believe you may have made false statements on one or more mortgage agreements. For example, you signed one document attesting that a property in Michigan will be your primary residence for the next year. 2 weeks later, you signed a document for a property in Georgia stating that it will be your primary residence for the next year. It's inconceivable you're not aware of your first commitment when mixing the second. So it feels very thin, but for that reason, he is now firing Lisa Cook. The response from, this happened just an hour ago after markets closed, but in after hours, the dollar went down and gold went up because this is, again, just more and more evidence that he is going to take complete control over the supposedly independent Federal Reserve. He is going to exert deep political control on it. He's going to make them raise and lower rates. I mean, just lower rates, but at will. And so, as a person who owns a lot of gold, I guess I'm happy. But as a person who lives in this country, as an American, I'm kind of sad. I think this is not cool. Wait, Lisa Cook responded? This is live? Lisa Cook. What did she say? Lisa Cook says she won't be bullied by Trump into resigning. That's from a few days ago, though. Where's the... Did she respond? Yeah, 2038. Financial markets had a nervous reaction to the news. Long-term yields rising. Gold spiking, the dollar dipping. Yeah, I just get the sense that he doesn't understand that fucking with this stuff will have consequences. That once he doesn't care. I don't know. I think he does care. I think he cares because of the taco stuff. Like when the markets were down, he kind of panicked and backtracked. But I think for stuff like this, he doesn't get how it's not immediate. It's not the day of, but it will happen all the same. Like like if you fire the BLS commissioner so you can't trust the data, and you fire the Federal Reserve so you can't trust it's independent. Once you do that, once it becomes clear to investors globally, they can't trust what's coming out of your mouth, what the chairman of the Federal Reserve is saying, what the BLS data is. Once they can't trust it, they can't invest in it, and then the money stops flowing in. I just think it's a lack of foresight. It just feels like every decision is made with 2 days ahead in mind. Anyway, we'll see. I don't see a response from Lisa Cook. We'll have to find out. You need some chapstick? I actually do. Thank you for saying that. It's because I have a sore, and so I slept with my mouth open. Like I breathed my mouth open, and then my lips got chapped. That's honestly what happened. The U.S. should buy 99% of OnlyFans. Okay, and that would be beneficial, I guess you're saying. It's called UBI. Universal booty income. Hey, anyway, I thought about, we haven't done this in a while. I thought about, what if we watched a Shark Tank today? Because there's new Shark Tank episodes this year. This is the final season. And we haven't done that in a bit. And it could be fun. I want to see what Shark Tank's like right now. What are the businesses being pitched in America today? Is Mr. Wonderful bald? By the way, Mr. Wonderful's becoming an actor. Did you see that? He's like in a trailer for another movie. What's the new movie? Someone sent me this. It was really funny.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty Mauser. I'm in the Royal Suite. I saw you in the lobby yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I never talked to an actual movie star.
Chalamet, dude.
You know, I'm something of a performer too.
Are you?
Yeah, you don't believe me? You what? What? You got the Daily Mail in front of you?
This is you?
Yeah, the chosen one. It's a nice picture, right?
I have a purpose. And if you think that's some sort of blessing, it's not. It means I have an obligation to see a very specific thing through. And with that obligation comes sacrifice.
Everything in my life's falling apart, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Do you need any help? I
Watch,
can help
halfway
you.
through.
I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
It's just Mr. Wonderful? I'm out. I want $1 royalty for every ping pong ball you sell. It's crazy. He's in. He's an actor now. Look. That was funny. Who'd have expected it? This could be an emote, by the way. That's a great photo. He seems well cast, I guess, for the role he's playing, but it's just funny. Anyway, so let's see what the fuck's going on with Shark Tank, bro. We are in season 16. Season 16 of Shark Tank. So many years. Since 2009, the show's been on the air. An entire recession era. And now we are headed to the next recession. And I want to see what's being pitched. So I'm going to give you guys some options. I'm only going to tell you the first product from each of these 3 episodes, and you can pick one of the episodes. All right. There's a one-of-a-kind icebreaker game, or a self-tanner geared towards men, or a kid-friendly coffee brand. Icebreaker game, self-tanner for men, or a kid-friendly coffee brand. 1, 2, or 3. I shouldn't have said coffee. Fuck me. I shouldn't have said coffee. I should have said tea brand or something, and then you guys would have fucking had a real vote. But I said the word coffee, and it doesn't, and it's over. All right, let's find it out. Season 16, episode 12. This aired not long ago at all. Maybe a few weeks, maybe less. This is the most recent episode. Guys, we haven't learned from Shark Tank in a long time. For a while now, we were watching Shark Tank every week, the best episode every season, to learn business. And now there's new episodes this year, and we're going to learn business from the art of the 5 greatest business people of all time. TV stars who...
This may look
Oh,
like
wait, we have to watch Purina dog chow ads first.